What's your favorite part of YouTube, bro? Like, to be more concise, what's your favorite corner of YouTube? Not like, I like YouTube because I eat it when I eat certain. I watch it when I eat cereal. But like,
My favorite corner of YouTube. Probably the reactor space.
That's a cool one.
If I couldn't choose that, it would be the conspiracy space, but I ain't gonna lie, YouTube kind of violated conspiracy space.
Yeah. With good reason, but also like, you know, you're a big corporation silencing fringe people, and the fringe people, that's all they say, that you're trying to silence them. So it's kind of like, are you doing the thing?
In fact, I would argue maybe that the conspiracy side of YouTube is my favorite. But really, like I said, it reversed. I do like the reactor side of YouTube, but one of my conspiracy videos is infinitely harder than it used to be. Infinitely harder. I had to search for specific YouTube channels. Luckily, I found them, but it is definitely much harder.
I would say my favorite corner of YouTube, honestly, is the music playlists. Like, I feel like, and granted, if you're gonna watch the next video, it might be a little bit redundant, but it's just peak YouTube, bro. It's like that, and like what Vine became, I feel like that was peak YouTube. But like, you would sneak on here during school on the school computer and listen, you know, like watch, you know, maybe Vivo, but Vivo came out in 2009. Before that, it wasn't Vivo. They would just drop it on their own shit. Then Vivo started to monopolize it. I don't know what happened after. But like, even on Vivo, like during that era, people would be waiting like, oh, what's the next thing, right? Like, I feel like that big, almost collective hype over
now
trends,
you got me really thinking,
is gone.
truly.
Everything is more like in a vacuum, right? Like, you like this one artist, so you get it on your algorithm and you see it, and people who like stuff like you see it, but it's not a singular stream of like, this is what's changing society now. You almost don't get to see it. You don't know how many times, bro, I've had conversations with people, right? And I'm like, oh, have you seen this meme? And they're like, no, never seen it. Meanwhile, I've been seeing it for months. So it's like, how? Like, how are we so disconnected? So that's why I prefer, you know, that era of YouTube, peak YouTube, because it's like everything was connected, even though it wasn't about a single creator. There weren't many big creators back then, you know?
You know what it is? I think that era of YouTube that you're referring to is more the way to get that same feeling is what I'm saying is the only way to get that same feeling now, you need to have like a person that you socialize with be on multiple social media platforms.
Like a
so that they could potentially know exactly what you're talking about. What's up, baby? Well, so they can know exactly what you're talking about, because I might have not seen it on YouTube, but I seen it in an Instagram reel, for example. You see, you get what I'm saying? And I think that that is valid, but I would say my favorite corner of YouTube it's almost not even a corner of YouTube anymore. It's more like an era. I like the era of my favorite. I think and maybe this is because how I discovered rock music. But if I'm to get very like dig deep, my favorite era of YouTube is like when we was in middle school and the AMVs specifically that we would see in middle school.
AMV.
Bring Me to Life.
Man, bro.
Wake me up inside. How many fucking AMVs did we know that had that same fucking song?
My God, bro. Shit,
I love that era of YouTube,
bro. Fucking being a middle schooler,
I'm gonna go deeper than that,
nothing
right?
about depression, and now I'm listening to fucking what is it, Animal on Becoming shit, or like Three Doors Down. Like, I don't know what they talking about, but I'm vibing, bro. I'm vibing because I feel angst in my tummy. Go deeper than that, bro. I like the
era of YouTube where you could watch your anime. And the anime episode was split up into 4 parts. Yo, that anime episode, that Bleach episode was split up into 4 parts.
It seems like we talking about the same era, though.
Part 1.
Like, we really talking about that same era, bro.
You said what?
I said that it seems like we're talking about that same era, though. Honestly.
Yeah.
Like, that, yeah, because all of that was happening at the same time, you know? Like, it wasn't really about the creator, but it was about the content. And I think that's what YouTube has lost. YouTube has triggered our ego, you know? And it's about us now.
So, right?
But, yeah, like, because there's money in that.
It's about money.
Yeah, there's money in that.
Yo, you can make money? Because before, it was kind of like, yo, you know what we doing now? You can make money off these videos that you've been posting. And it's like, word? I just been doing this for fun. But you telling me I could make money off these videos?
There's been a big shift in content.
There's people like me that's like, yo, I deadass like this hobby. But if you telling me I can make money off of it, now it's something different versus just straight up doing it off of sheer passion. Could I do it off of sheer passion? I think I could, but I don't think it would be nearly as consistent. The truth, yeah, doing something off of sheer passion and then like coming back to it, and somebody telling you some shit like, yo, you could get paid off of this. That's how some long-standing YouTube channels, like I even use the Harsh Friends for example, because they was there for a minute. Anybody that's been there since like I would say 2008, 2009, which I could say the Harsh Friends, they was probably there before that.
Yo, I ain't even like see you type moose pussy.
You said what?
I didn't even see you type moose pussy in the chat, bro.
Yo, I forgot that I typed that shit. But what you call it? Once it's gotten to that point, yo, I could get paid off of this? You tell me I could get paid off of this? Then that's when it lost. Of course, that's when it's always going to lose its vigor because people want ways to make money in a simpler fashion. Now, the real truth is, even when it comes to YouTube, and this is something that a lot of people find out, YouTube is not easy. YouTube, now you got to figure out, all right, why did my podcast only get 7 views?
Well, the thing is that it's not a free market anymore, right? Because there's money involved, YouTube is not interested in sending your video out for free anymore. They have to be getting some kind of benefit, right? Unless you like get a flat, like just magic in a bottle, you know, like,
yeah, that lightning in the bottle, so to speak.
Yeah. Go ahead.
A lightning in a bottle that you capture is typically going to be a video that goes viral. And even then, it's not necessarily truly captured, because what YouTube, I think, truly would expect is for you to do that again and 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 again. You know, you get the point that I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
It's gonna constantly ask you to do that. Till eventually you get to a point where you just, maybe you're constantly, like, for example, I always use my I'm about to say my man Penguins. I don't know this man from a can of paint, but my man Penguins.
Yeah.
My man could sit down in front of a fucking webcam that doesn't even look the most high quality. And maybe it's not that it's not the most high quality, but his lighting, he doesn't take the time to do lighting setups and all this fancy editing. But my man could consistently pull 1 million views.
Yeah.
Like, when I looked at him, I was
it's
like,
about the creator now, bro. It's not about the content. Literally, you could, like, once people know your face,
I would say it's about the creator.
I think with anybody,
it's truly about the creator, because why would people pull up to see something that's not fancily edited? He's doing everything that a lot of YouTube people would say is wrong. He's doing everything that's opposite to that, and he can pull 1 million views every video. And I'm like, yo, this guy is amazing.
But you know what the thing is, though?
Monotone talking, a white guy that has long hippie hair is, for whatever reason, very appealing. And I found myself listening to him and be like, all right, I ain't necessarily agree with your opinions, but yo, he doing his damn thing. So maybe he came up in an era where one could look at it as, yo, he came up in an era where, you know, it was a thing where he got the people to buy into his personality or whatever he was presenting, however candid he was with his fan base. And that in itself activated the people to where he can, like I said, he could literally, he's just a talking head. And he could pull 1 million views consistently. With consistency, he doesn't have no fancy editing, nothing.
Then
so now we have to say it's just him.
It is, though. Like,
it is.
The thing is that, like,
it is. It absolutely is.
It really comes down to familiarity. You know what I'm saying? Like, you probably, and I was watching this video, I forgot who it is, some big YouTuber that, like, you know those people that tell you how to make money, but most of their money is coming from telling you how to make money? Those guys, right? But he said something that made sense, right? And it's like, I'm gonna annoy you with my ads. And a lot of people think that, oh, like, I'm gonna annoy my consumer base with so many ads and all of that. And he's like, no, what you need to do is have the image so ingrained in their minds before you even produce the content, that by the time the content is made, even if they don't click on it today, they click on it a month later after seeing it every single day. They're like, why not? Let me do it. How many times haven't you, hasn't happened to you, right? There's like a food ad or a restaurant or whatever.
No, you're absolutely right. That's exactly what happens with me.
So it's familiarity, you know what I'm saying?
I ignore a channel for mad long, and it's like, all right, y'all keep on showing me this shit. What's up?
And
that's what happens with the Penguin. Funny enough, going back to
what
Penguins,
it is. I'm telling you, it's familiarity.
That's what happened with him. I didn't really want to check out his channel. I was like, all right, cool. But they kept on recommending. I'm like, all right, let me at least find a video that I would be interested in him and hearing some type of commentary about. Not only that, I gotta give this man credit even more. Right? I know it might sound like I'm dick riding, but this guy, every time, it's not just video games. He could be talking about Nico, one thing, and then talking about Pokemon Scarlet Violet and how it was successful, but in a way it bombed. The next video. And then he could be talking about Kendrick Lamar and Drake's beef the next video and still get the same amount of view. And I know, once again, this would, my emphasis on views could be looked at as, yo, this is exactly what I'm talking about. So focused on the views. And I think that's how some viewers look at it.